More than likely, this will be the final time that we need to reference the whole Trump, Milo, Nick Fuentes situation. We should be able to put just a nice little bow on top of this, call it a day, because realistically, this has been the biggest misdirection by the media for the past week or so, because this dinner happened, Tuesday before Thanksgiving, and it's just dominated the news cycle. It's not like there's important things in the news right now, like, I don't know, maybe Twitter, Elon Musk outing that Twitter interfered in elections. There was a guy who was running a big Ponzi scheme who stole billions of dollars, who's out there giving interviews, and just a heads up, that's future topics I'm going to be talking about on the channel, so stay tuned for all that. But no. What's important is Trump had a dinner with Kanye West, and he brought a couple of unsavory characters with him, and the media just now thinks that a guy who has a Jewish son-in-law, and his daughter converted to Judaism, is by some degrees now an anti-Semite, as opposed to some of the people that have condemned him for such an action. Actually, consistently rub shoulders with avowed anti-Semites and former leaders of the Klan. But your mileage may vary on all this stuff. But yeah, I like to put this all in the rearview mirror because yesterday's video did incredibly well, and I could see the Tim defense squad coming out in full force. Because what do I have right now? I think there's, as at a time of recording, I think the breakdown is 60-30 dislikes to likes. But here's the other thing, I got more subscribers out of doing that video than any one of those Tim simps dropped anyways. So oh well, sucks to suck. Try better next time. It's always tenuous, okay? Like, I back up my claims. I let my opinions be known before I deliver them. But whenever I go up against somebody who the right just loves, okay? Because Tim Pool, oh my God, he's one of those former left-leaning individuals, and he came over to the right side. We got one of the converted. Or Sidney Watson's vanilla ass. Oh God, you criticize any of our alternative news hosts that we love so much, you criticize them on any of their stupid fucking moves, and oh my God, we do better, or whatever the fuck you put in the I don't care. I don't fucking read any of the comments. If I ever see one and I think that it's funny, I'll respond to it. It's like, outside of that, it's like, I don't care. The comment section's for the subscribers and for everybody else to use. That is your guys' playground. Feel free to do whatever the fuck you want. I don't censor them unless it looks like it's disproportionate, and then it just comes out that it's a big bot campaign. Seen something about that, when was that? I think that was one of those FTX videos that came out, and it was one of those big fucking crypto scams that all of the big YouTubers are warning their audiences about. It's like, don't engage with that shit. I'm not reaching out to any motherfuckers that are out there too at the exact same time. Total transparency on that. I don't have a Telegram account that I'm gonna reach out to you because I'm in need of some money, and then if you just exchange crypto addresses, we can come to an agreement. No, that's not gonna be me, okay? But if you've been around the site for the channel for a while, okay, you'll know my stance on free speech. You go ahead and do whatever the fuck you want. There's nothing that's gonna offend me. Just keep it above board, keep it legal. I don't care what you post. Do whatever the fuck you like. That, I think, is a pretty good universal and something that, should be a guiding principle for so many more people. But no. If it bleeds, it leads. If it's salacious, that's what we run with. Or if it involves the orange man, mass media, we'll make sure that it stays in the public consciousness. I said at the time, after Trump announced that 2024 is like, that's going to be his campaign once again, just wait for the crazy shit to pop out. And I didn't anticipate so many names from the past and so many crazy motherfuckers popping up. And one guy who I'm pretty sure is just being puppeted for his fame and his fortune, because that one's fairly fucking obvious. And we got some receipts on that one. It's like, your boy doesn't miss. I'm fucking right. You might be mad at the time. Get out of your fucking feelings and read along or connect the dots yourself. Fucking retards. But anyways, Trump team making big changes after Kanye West dinner, that GOP lawmaker says. Okay. Marjorie Taylor Greene, said former President Donald Trump's team is making significant changes to his Mar-a-Lago vetting process following a meeting with rapper Kanye West and Nick Fuentes. It's funny that they leave out Milo. It's very funny because he was there as well, but he's always being left out. It's It's very odd, but we'll get into the reason why I think, at least, that he's been left out here in a second. Green told reporters Tuesday that Trump had no idea Fuentes was even coming. That's actually true, okay, and described the incident as unfortunate. Over the weekend, Trump confirmed on Truth Social that West, known as Ye, and Fuentes met with him at his Florida resort. Following last week's dinner, Trump is now making big changes over who can come in and the vetting process, which I think is smart, Green said, according to The Hill. Any former president should have this in place. I thought he would have. Like, okay, cool, you're coming to Mar-a-Lago to meet directly with the president. Who's coming with you? Okay, is there anybody that we should know about? What time you're going to be there? All of that shit should be fucking ironed out beforehand. But the fact that that wasn't in place, or the Secret Service agents that are assigned to the former president, why aren't they fucking doing that job? That should have been incumbent on them to know the type of people that would have been showing up. Like, for fuck's sakes, you know, I'm sure Tim Pool did a better fucking investigation effort, or whoever books his guests, to make sure that it's only those exclusive people that are going to be showing up and nothing nefarious was going to be happening behind the scenes. It's just a little bit fucking odd, and just maybe a touch too convenient, because maybe there was somebody assigned to this, okay? I don't want to get too terribly conspiratorial, because we just see the people falling as they may right now in regards to this story. Who's perpetuating it? Who's coming out in staunch defense that, oh, the Republican Party is not the party of anti-Semitism, and we love Israel. It's like, yeah, we get it, and it's like, cool. At the same time, you're pointing to some people who might have some unsavory opinions, but outside of that, it's like, okay, Nick Fuentes, white supremacist. He's going around with Kanye West. That one's a little tough to connect the dots on. But nah, they all hate Jews. It's like, cool, can you substantiate that? Or is it just these guys are just saying, there sure seems to be a lot of Steins and Bergs in this list of people that have canceled us. This is their connecting tissue in that. You won't let them ask those questions, and you won't find any answers. No, you just want to label them anti-Semites. It's like, oh, okay, cool. Now listen, I just think that Ye is being used, okay? I've said that before, laid out a much more comprehensive analysis of that yesterday in the previous video. Need not tread that ground once again. If you want that full line of argumentation, just go back and click on that one. It's quite popular. Fuentes, I think, is just young and stupid and inarticulate on all of his positions. Might be a bit of a troll. He's always had a thing for Milo. And then Milo, well, we'll get into him maybe in a little bit. I know he's not gay anymore, and I'm not asking. I'm just saying that we need to inspect him a little bit deeper this time around. But the knives are out on this one. That's why I think it's like, okay, cool. This is staying in the public consciousness, mostly because you've also been hearing some other stories about especially establishment hacks in the GOP party, saying that they want to try to root out all of the MAGA Republicans that are in there. They want to work hand in hand to kill it off, just like the Tea Party before it, because, hey man, their status quo positions, oh, they're very tenuous. They're just going to go out there and say, well, Ron DeSantis didn't meet with anybody like that. We should back him. Fuck you, Mitch McConnell. Anyone meeting with individuals with anti-Semitic views, highly unlikely to be elected president. Oh, okay, cool. I don't care what Mitch McConnell has to say about anything. Again, he was, good friends with Strom Thurmond, Robert Byrd. It's like, come on now. Something, glass houses, or in his case, glass shells, should not throw the first stone. Kevin McCarthy, fuck him. I don't like him. He is a fucking snake, and he's going to be the Speaker of the House because the establishment in the House is stronger than anything else. That's why they want to exercise their power and yeet out any dissenting opinions. Terrific. Condemns white nationalist Nick Fuentes. His ideology should have no place in society at all. Listen, he's a shit disturber, a shit talker, a podcaster, somebody who created his own platform, and he rubs shoulders with some unsavory people. He still has a place in the society. I don't like him. I don't watch his content. All the more reason for it to be out there on Front Street. That's just what I'm saying, okay? House Minority Leader, Kevin McCarthy, blah, blah, blah. I don't think anybody should be spending any time with Nick Fuentes. I disagree. If you want to, go for it. Fucking don't care. Don't count me in that company. But then at the same time, just because he says words that make you uncomfortable, all of a sudden, he should be ostracized from society? I don't fucking think so. He has no place in this Republican Party. Okay, cool. Here's what Kevin McCarthy's doing. He's got this really ritzy, pathetic fucking nightclub, and he's just yelling at people walking by the street. You'd never be allowed in here. Didn't want to come in the first place. You're an anti-Semite. We get it. We get it. McCarthy was questioned about Trump's dinner with Fuentes. It's like there was other people there, you know, okay, but all of it's just around this 24-year-old fucking cum detective catboy loving spurg. Outside of that, who the fuck cares? We should be moving on to something more important. Like, hey, where's those billions of dollars that FTX just fucking threw away? No, don't care about that? Oh, okay, cool. I'm sure there's nothing more important to talk about instead of some people had some fucking dinner at a place. According to Trump, Fuentes' anti-Semitic views wouldn't have been accepted if he raised them at dinner. Because what actually happened at dinner? Okay, like, that's what I wanted to know. That's what I wanted to find out at Timcast, okay, during that episode. But no, Tim, once again, has the interviewing skills of a fucking cinder block. He wasn't adaptable enough to the situation. He doesn't have the mental dexterity in order to change on the fly. He fucking sucks, and I will continue to shout that from the rooftop whenever it is fucking necessary. But I don't anticipate bringing him up anymore. I don't watch the content, and I fucking checked out years ago at this point in time. I think I can do it better. Your mileage may vary. Choose whatever the fuck you want. I'm not forcing you to watch a video. Even though it's funny, given how much quote-unquote hate, it's not like I really care. I just find it very funny when I take a look at, how many downvotes are on it. And it's like, okay, cool. In the grand scheme of things, compared to actual people that checked out the video that I'm exceedingly happy about, and the amount of people that hopped on board, thank you very much. And hopefully you're enjoying your stay. It's not just a one-off issue. I talk about a whole host of things. But the view time on that, oh yeah, the minutes watched on that, that's very interesting for a bunch of people that would be theoretically just drive by disliking. I don't know what your thought process is. I don't fucking care. Just if you don't like it, don't come back. And if you do, I'm thankful that you're here. Because there's no point in holding grudges about anything, really. I've been wronged in real life. I've been wronged on the internet. But then at the same time, you just hold on to that stuff. It's the old Nelson Mandela quote. Ingesting poison, hoping that your enemy dies. It's like, that's just not good for you. Let it go. If you're not going to get closure, fuck it. Figure out how to move and carry on into the future. Nobody's going to make anything better for you, okay? And you're going to have to do better for yourself. And that's something that Milo needs to reconcile with. It's, like I said, man, he's a very funny guy. He's a very sharp guy, but he's also a very bitter, a very possessed, and he's a very narcissistic guy. So I think it's a pretty apt analogy. I've never heard it brought up before, and I used it yesterday, not to, stroke my own ego or anything like that. But two guys that were deplatformed in on or around the exact same time. Alex Jones and Milo Yiannopoulos. Both had similar levels of fame, okay? Back in 2016 when all of this stuff went down. Alex, you could argue, was probably a little bit, with his infrastructure that he had around him because he was smart about it. Self-made man who had just turned himself into a media empire. And now with the consistent attacks against him and his companies, he has still weathered the storm better than Milo. They also got the similar treatment, but then has spun into some sort of political vendetta because Alex has the exact same claims that he could use. But both of these guys, okay, espouse the idea that they want the best for America. Okay, they want to put America first. Alex continues to live out that mantra. And Milo, well, he just wants to see the world burn. It's like, channel all of that rage and aggression against the Daily Wire because you still have this other vendetta against Ben Shapiro that you should work out. And, you'd have some support on that side, okay? I'd be on your side. But when you're just trying to fuck up a shot for real change for the federal government, I don't know, my guy. You should probably scale back that lust for vengeance. Let's get into this. 2 days before Thanksgiving, former President Donald Trump sat down for a dinner with rapper Kanye West at his Mar-a-Lago resort in Palm Beach. But he allegedly didn't expect West to bring along white nationalist and Holocaust denier Nick Fuentes. Oh, just because he asks about wood doors and how many teeth were there. Like, come on, just fucking... But take a look, okay? According to NBC News, Trump likely walked into a trap that was intentionally set up for him. I was going to use the source material on this one, but NBC runs so many fucking ads. It's an incomprehensible mess of fucking graphics that are moving all along both sides and up at the top. It's really displeasing to see. But this mere of the article highlights all the important points, okay? So yeah, if you don't believe me, feel free to just, click through a raw story link that's going to be in the description, and you can go in and click on the NBC News link right there. It's all there for you. I just wanted to do this for ease of presentation, as it were. Anyways, now, stop playing, god damn it, and I just tried to hype this up as being so much better. It was all paused beforehand. Anyways, now Trump is in full damage control mode. Sort of, I guess, just waiting for another thing to come out. It's not like it really matters, and this is because I've been around long enough to remember the circus that started all the way back in 2015, all the way through until now. This is just, try to see what sticks against Trump. This is the whole keep the guy's name in the news cycle, but then as soon as somebody does a little bit of digging in there, it's like, I don't know how effective the whole he's a racist strategy was beforehand, and it's like this is going to fade into the background because everybody's going to take a look around, and it's like, oh, he was set up, huh, interesting. But anyways, yeah, back to what Trump was claiming, that he had no idea who Fuentes was, and that West expressed no anti-Semitism during the dinner. It's kind of like his statements that I've seen. I haven't seen anything expressed, but he's already been colored with that brush, mostly because Kim Kardashian is exceedingly powerful in the media, has a narrative to push, and she accomplished everything that she wants. 80% of the time she gets custody of the kids and $200,000 a month alimony. Child support, I guess, would be whatever the fuck you want to call it for kids that are still going to be under her control and her influence for, what's the oldest one, 9 years old? Yeah, it's funny because she's what, pushing or is a billionaire, but she still needs $200,000 a month. Okay. We saw everybody in the dining room get up and start applauding, and then the president entered. Fuentes told NBC News. Question, why is NBC News taking a shining to what they would describe and continue to describe as a white supremacist? Why would they take his words? They're descriptors. This just reinforces my theory that, the media, and by extrapolation, the Democratic National Party, are scared of Trump more than anything else. So they'll use whatever they fucking can. He greeted us, and he invited Yi into dinner, and Yi said that he wanted to bring us with him to the table. So we walked in, and Yi took some pictures with some of the guests in the dining room, and then we sat down at the table. Yeah, it seems to correspond with what Kanye West was talking about briefly to Tim Pool. And it's like, I set up a dinner. I wanted to have a dinner to discuss some things back in October. It got pushed to November. I brought some people around. Trump didn't know who I brought around. And then I was approached by Milo in the convening time, which now we'll probably get into. An anonymous Trump advisor told NBC that it is clear that Fuentes' presence was part of a headline-grabbing setup. And who set that up? Because again, it's like Fuentes is just a spurg on the internet. He's a 24-year-old kid with a very loud mouth and a very large megaphone. He's incredibly sharp. He knows his stuff, and he also knows how to push people's buttons and get a lot of attention. But not as much as the guy that consistently stays out of the headlines and stays out of the body of any of the interviews, but still finds his way into the pictures and runs the campaign from behind the scenes. That motherfucker in the blue suit right there, right up front. The master troll got trolled, the advisor said. Kanye punked Trump. I don't think so much. I don't think it was Ye so much. Infamous right-wing provocateur Milo Yiannopoulos told NBC News that he was the architect of the plans to have Fuentes show up to dinner with Trump. Oh, I thought this was supposed to be introducing the new face of the Republican Party. Okay, this was all well and good. Okay, to make a coalition going forward. This wasn't about exacting any sort of vendetta and trying to smear anybody. But that's exactly what it was. I wanted to show Trump the type of talent that he's missing out on. By allowing his terrible handlers to dictate who he can and can't go out with, Yiannopoulos told NBC News. That's another thing that I've argued and many other people have as well. It's like Trump has very bad, or at least had very bad advisors around him. Don't know what's going on right now or who's running the show. It looks like they're doing at least a really shit job when it comes to guest screening, but we'll see if that gets fixed up. I also wanted to send a message to Trump. Oh, this is about you. You're on the ticket as well? I thought it was Yay 24, not Milo 24. Just very interesting development here. That he systematically, repeatedly neglected, ignored, abused the people who love him the most. Daddy Trump, why won't you acknowledge me? Acknowledge me. I gave up everything. It's like now he's writing his Dear Stan letter. Like, fuck off. The people who put him in office and the kind of behavior comes back to bite you in the end. You orchestrated this shit. You are trying to tear down the legacy of Kanye West by associating him with somebody who has more baggage than any member of the Department of Energy could possibly steal from a Minneapolis airport at any given time. More on that story Friday, I think. All because you want Senpai Trump to notice you? Like, what? What are we doing? That's some bitch-made behavior. You made your name off of exposing feminists live on TV, and now you're just acting like one. Oh well. Yiannopoulos said he arranged the dinner just to make Trump's life miserable. Trying to ruin a young man's life, okay, by using him as a political pawn, taking advantage of a mentally compromised man, not because I think that Kanye is stupid or inept or anything like that, it's just, that guy's in a real tough place, settling a divorce with the risk or the threats of being heavily fucking medicated, not knowing how that all is playing out in real time, with scandals aplenty, feeding him bad information that, oh yeah, it's actually the Jews and it's just not, like the big elite network up at the top, okay? Telling them, oh yeah, just blame the Jews and all your problems, yeah, it'll make sense now. Yeah, that's right, we do need to talk about that. Fucking disgusting. Fuentes agrees, saying, I hate to say it, but the chickens are coming home to roost. This is the frustration with the base and his true loyalists. Very interesting. His true loyalists. With that statement there, Fuentes would put himself in the group of true loyalists. The same guy that said that Trump was a cuck for arranging peace in the Middle East. Very interesting type of language. My most thorough exposure to Fuentes, was on his debate. It was actually on Alex Jones's Band.tv or Infowars or whatever. He was doing a debate against Robert Barnes when it came to Israel and Palestine's conflict. And yeah, if you want to see the most obvious example of Nick Fuentes maybe displaying a little bit of anti-Semitism, you could find it in that debate right there, because Robert Barnes is a straight fucking fax machine, just printing out paper after paper after paper of event after event after event. And Fuentes is just pulling the same old debate tactics of, elevating the emotion, but you can't shake Barnes. He looked like a child afterwards, so it's like these people are politically irrelevant, okay? Kanye West is getting led around. I don't like it. I really don't fucking like it. And there's more important shit to talk about. Kind of like how the Biden administration just I don't know why they do this right now. This is far more important than some fucking dinner that happened a week ago with absolutely no consequences. Biden administration gives Trump tax returns to House Democrats. They're leaving. They aren't going to be in control anymore. What the fuck can you hope to do here? And why did you wait this long if you were ultimately going to make this decision? And why does the Biden administration have the ability to go around IRS audits? Oh, and if they always had this authority, why now? Why now? Biden's administration has handed over years of former President Donald Trump's tax returns to the U.S. House of Representatives. Treasury has complied with last week's court decision, spokesperson for the Treasury Department, which includes the IRS. Of course it does, because how many thousands of new IRS agents are coming in? Oh, great. No, they aren't going to be used as appointed attack dogs of the Biden administration. Definitely not like what happened under the Obama administration. No, couldn't possibly see that happening ever again, right? U.S. Supreme Court recently rejected a request from Trump to block the IRS from transmitting the returns, lifting a stay on the Chief Justice John Roberts had temporarily imposed. Lifting of the stay meant an order from the United States Court of Appeals from the District of Columbia, the D.C. Circuit, came back into effect. The order had directed the IRS to transmit the materials to the House. Representative Richard Dick Neal, appropriate, chair of the House Ways and Means Committee, has been seeking 6 years of Trump's tax returns since 2019. And now all of a sudden that breaks through. Well, obviously there's Supreme Court rulings and stays that are lifted, and times have passed on that. It just also tells me that of those other investigations that are out there, like Mar-a-Lago, And then the newly put in place, what's his name, Jack or John Smith, the special master that Merrick Garland just appointed to the Trump case to oversee Mar-a-Lago. And what was the... Oh, right, taxes. Huh, very coincidental all this stuff happens right now. Fucking really does make you do the old big think, doesn't it? Since the Magna Carta, the principle of oversight has been upheld. Bruh, do Hunter Biden. How about that? And today, this is no different. Neil said in a statement to the Supreme Court's decision, this rises above politics. Like what? If you think that you need Trump's tax returns, okay, from the IRS in order to prove anything, like, I don't know what the fuck you're gonna do. Dox his personal information? Like, big fucking oof, okay? You're just gonna see billionaires' tax returns. Something that, what? Only the most seasoned corporate counsel could properly decipher. It's like, okay, cool, you used this depreciation over here, you use this tax break here, oh, he employs this many people. It's like, cool. It's just, once again, a bunch of fucking nonsense with no substantiation. So listen, we can't really get Trump with any indictments or anything like that. We're just going to try to smoke him out on the campaign trail early. We're just going to try to lay all the different seeds of scandal to hopefully, take him out right now. Let's just wrap this up. Trump and his lawyers have argued the bid to get the records was politically motivated and designed to publicly release sensitive information, pointing to statements to the effect by leading Democrats such as House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, but several courts said Neil had put forth a legitimate legislative purpose. Like what? Neil has not sought the records from any other president, says the materials are needed to examine the way the IRS audits presidents. So Trump's specifically. Very fucking interesting. The Department of Justice's Office of Legal Counsel in 2019 said that Neil's stated reason for requesting the records was implausible. The objective mismatch between the committee's stated purpose and on the one hand, and the particular information that the committee demanded, on the other, provided strong evidence of pretext, the office said at the time. In addition, the nature of the request, the long series of events that preceded it, and Chairman Neil's pointed failure to renounce his oft-proclaimed purpose of publicly releasing the president's tax returns all confirmed that the committee's purpose was the constitutionally impermissible one of forcing the public disclosure of the president's tax returns. Yeah, we need to do an audit on how the president's taxes are done. One of two presidents ever that deferred their full salary for the 4 years that they were in office. Yeah, we just need to go ahead and take a look at that one right there. The guy who famously wouldn't release his tax returns because they were under audit by the IRS until 2014's tax returns got leaked to Rachel Maddow, and then it just turned out that, Trump paid actually more taxes than the likes of Bernie Sanders, Barack Obama, and even Joe Biden, and he gave more charitable contributions than any of those other people listed before. But no, we just need Trump's as an example. I'm sure they'll get leaked out there, and we'll probably figure out what that leaker, or rather who that leaker is. About the same time we'll figure out who leaked the Dobbs decision earlier this year. Fucking disgusting misdirection going on right now. I fucking hate all of it. But with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.